In today's lesson, we will be focusing on learning how to play major scales in all keys. We will explore the patterns, finger placements, and techniques required to master these scales across different keys. By the end of the lesson, you will have a solid understanding of major scales and how to practice them effectively to improve your overall musical skills. Before we jump straight into learning how to play major scales, it's important to first understand the concepts of tones and semitones. These are fundamental building blocks in music theory, and having a clear grasp of them will make it much easier to follow along with today's lesson. If you're not yet familiar with tones and semitones, I highly recommend watching my previous video, where I explain them in detail. Now, when it comes to playing a major scale in any key, there is a specific formula that you can follow. This formula remains the same regardless of which key you're playing in. The pattern consists of the following sequence of steps: whole note, half note, whole note, whole note, half note. By applying this pattern starting from any given note, you can construct a major scale for that key. Understanding and practicing this formula will help you confidently play major scales across all keys. Let's begin by learning how to play the major scale in the key of C. The C major scale is a great starting point because it consists entirely of natural notes, meaning it does not have any sharps or flats. This makes it one of the easiest scales to visualize and play on the piano or any other instrument. To construct the C major scale, we will apply the universal formula used for all major scales. This formula consists of a specific sequence of whole steps and half steps. Starting from C, we follow this pattern to determine the next notes in the scale. A whole step from C takes us to D. Another whole step from D brings us to E. A half step from E leads to F. A whole step from F moves us to G. Another whole step from G brings us to A. One more whole step from it takes us to B. Finally, a half step from B brings us back to C, completing the scale. Now, let's move on to the E major scale. This scale contains 4 sharp notes and is commonly used in various musical genres, making it an essential scale to master. To construct the E major scale, we will apply the major scale formula. Starting from E, let's follow this pattern step by step. A whole step from E takes us to F sharp. Another whole step from F sharp brings us to G sharp. A half step from G sharp leads to A. A whole step from A moves us to B. Another whole step from B brings us to C sharp. One more whole step from C sharp takes us to D sharp. Finally, a half step from D sharp brings us back to E, completing the scale. When practicing the scale, focus on the finger positioning to ensure smooth transitions between notes. Start slowly, ensuring accuracy, and gradually increase speed as you become more comfortable. Mastering the E major scale will help you play fluently in keys that feature multiple sharps and improve your overall musical technique. Using this technique, you can confidently play scales in every key on the piano. That's it for today's lesson. Be sure to stay tuned for our next session, where we'll explore how to play minor scales in all keys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.